Hello again, if you're Infantry General, I just completed the campaign and I said that I will make one follow-up video which is going to be a wrap-up or some sort of, let's say, review, my opinion on game. So let's talk first about the campaign. I think I played maybe 26 missions in total. Probably there are some missions over here because at one point I had here I think already had there were also some options over here. They had here a choice to select Marlik's Vale or the Gap. So I decided to go for the Marlik's Vale, and then this choice moved me to the south. Probably with the Gap I would be pushed here to fight more in this Scarlet Mountains. So yeah, we can fairly say that this campaign has around 30 missions, which is a solid number for a campaign. I spent probably um, 1 to 2 hours per mission, so I mean this is actually a lot of gameplay. I play very fast, so for the players who are playing slower it's even more, so we are talking about probably uh, around probably 50 or 60 hours of gameplay, maybe even more, 80 hours of gameplay only for campaign, which is really a great value for the game who likes this kind of games. Uh, let's talk about the units. The first kind of units that we have here are actually the heroes. Well, yeah, these units are very strong, and also with these artifacts they can get a lot of bonuses. uh, don't know to what to say too much about them. I decided to let go Tyr and I think, well, no, can't remember what was his name, Dorios or something like that. I let him go too. Probably it is possible to keep them in the army and not to allow them to go. Also, it is possible to have Princess Mark in the army instead of Ulnar, which I didn't want to do it. These heroes uh, are actually great for leading units when you're advancing in some areas. Then they are quite strong. They can endure a lot of attacks and they are not suffering any casualties in terms of destroyed units or dead units. So in one turn they can return in full strength. So they are excellent for to be in lead, and also when they're equipped with some like here Tugal with these flags or these horns, they can add the bonuses to all other units because they have a lot of here places for the artifacts. About the units, the infantry units, this is younglings. Actually, these younglings they can go for the long range or skirmish part or for the close range or melee unit. Um, in the beginning, definitely in the beginning of campaign, it's must have to have these slingers. They're not too expensive. Only one weapon and 25 gold. The problem is, especially in the start of the campaign, it's not easy to get these weapons. Later on, I upgraded all of them to wolf killers, and let me see. Okay, why I'm not getting? Okay, maybe I can. Okay, over here it would be better. Yeah, over here. The wolf killers, and then in the end I upgraded them to thunderers and to armored slingers. I didn't use this unit in my whole campaign. I used some mercenaries, but maybe they have some value, but considering the number of units, I never decided to go for this recon infantry. I mean, the recon infantry, it would be really nice if the recon infantry that they have, I mean, search to be 4 or 5, then value of this unit will be greater to have really a recon infantry like this. I was never inclined to buy this unit. So yeah, mostly for these younglings I went for first for wolf killers, and it's important for you to know that when you go for the wolf killers, uh, let me check it over here. They have with the slingers, I think this is also applied for all the slingers. In the point blank range, they deal plus 50% damage. So it's important to plan attacks accordingly. If you can get your slingers in the point blank range, especially on the range units, to do it always, then you will deal 50% damage. And for for the wolf killers, this this attribute is even better. It gives plus 100, actually double damage in the point blank range. The same is for the wolf killer slingers, and it's the same for the thunderers. The thunderers are on the other side. They are magic infantry, and they ignore armor, but their attack is reduced by the morale of the army. So it's it's better not to use them in the beginning, but to use them when the morale is when the enemy units have weakened morale. Actually, try to kill some units before using them, and on the enemies that are routed or broken, they will inflict heavy damage. um, this this wolf killer, this um, armor slingers, they are also excellent because of the great protection. They have great armor in comparison with thunderers. They have twice better armor, so they are really good for close support. But on the other hand, these thunder slingers, they have range 3, and these armor slingers, they have range of 2. It is important to note that armor slingers will give infinite defensive fire. So if your front unit is protected by these slingers, then and that unit is attacked, let's say 3 times by enemy units, every time is going to be protected by these slingers. This doesn't apply for the thunderers. They will protect only once. The same is here with one exception. If you place this type of slingers, wolf killers, if you place them on the rough terrain, then they have infinite ammo, and they are giving infinite protection to your units. This is also this can also set for this regular slingers. I think I used that that attribute I used when we were under attack here. I placed my slingers on the rough terrain to give multiple protections for my frontal units. uh, let's see other units that actually here I used a lot. Berserkers. These units are great because they don't suffer kills. So basically all the damage they take, all they're all wounded. So this unit is excellent because of that feature. But on the other hand, you must be very careful because this unit doesn't have any armor. They are fearless, and they have a lot of great traits. Even this first one, fueled by rage, fearless. I think Slayer. Yeah, Slayer is unique feature to them too. It doesn't need any artifact for that. Highland charge. So basically it deals plus 100% melee damage as charge damage. Ambush, great for ambushing, and they're all terrain. So it's probably the best infantry unit that you can get. Especially this one, the cleavers, which are the magic shock infantry. They have amazing damage and a lot of health. I use this X-Men, but overall I think this unit is much better. And The biggest benefit from this X-Men, sometimes they can harass the enemy, which actually, when the enemy is harassed, it cannot break a charge, and it gets nerfs with a minus 25% armor modifier and minus 25% damage, which is a lot. So this unit can be used very well in combination with berserkers and other units. This unit attacks first, and then other units attacks. So I think later on I purchased in the last mission, did I? I can't remember, or I didn't. This, I think I did in the last mission. Purchased this one because I had a horse token. This unit has this heavy X-Men. This infantry, they have speed only of 2. Purchased one, but still this unit needs some buffs in comparison with berserkers who are much better. One of the reasons that because I was not pretty much happy with X-Men, I upgraded them to Tain, so here I actually use Tain to give buffs to my units instead of this X-Men, because yeah, overall I was not happy how they perform. This unit I didn't use it. The greatest issue with this unit is 4 liquid mana. This is huge, and this unit, I don't know what to say. I mean, yeah, I mean, they have a, they're impressive, but the price is huge. I mean, when I compare this unit with the trolls, they also have great health. They do a great damage. Okay, not this unit because it has plus 100 health. It would usually have some 600 something. Okay, it's also very experienced, so it's getting a lot of bonuses. I don't know how much the fresh unit without experience will have, but still a lot, probably around 400. This unit is also great, and in comparison, it costs, okay, it costs a lot of armor, but not a liquid mana, and I think it's much more difficult to get liquid mana. So I don't know what to say about this unit. Is it a bit too much? I don't know. I never use it in a campaign, so maybe yeah, maybe I can't evaluate this unit properly because I didn't use it. So, but it's quite expensive. 4 armor and 4 liquid manas. It's a lot. I would prefer to have maybe more gold, but not so much of this liquid mana. This is about the infantry. Let's see. This is the tree for the maidens for the light spear infantry. Um, in this, I mostly used spear maidens, which are really good unit. They are not too expensive. 2 weapons, which is yeah not easy to get, but with them you get 45 skill, and this skill is very important in the beginning. If you can fortify one unit and then protect it with the archer, you can protect your flank with that unit. So this is very important, and stop the enemy, so the enemy then needs to do something, some other flanking or try to break through, which is really difficult. So this unit is really important at the beginning to have 1 or 2 at least. Later I upgraded to the shield maidens, and they proved excellent, especially because of this shield wall, because they have this uh, this attribute that gives shield to all adjacent units, and they give +2 armor. They're also fearless, and yeah, taking 45. But it's I was upgrading this every time when I had horse token, because their speed is 2, so I didn't want to have units that slow. So every time when I had one additional, when I would explore one additional horse token, I would get one of these units. One of the units that I upgraded, which is quite expensive, 4 liquid mana, winged maidens. I had this plate mail. I mean, I think this is the major reason why I did it. Otherwise, I would not do it. And with this +4 armor, this is interesting unit because it has speed of 4, and with this armor I made some sort of similar unit like this one, but a bit different because It's all-terrain unit, and it has also this winged leap attribute. Interesting unit. I used it. I mean, it's not anything special, but yeah. Javelin. These are skirmishers. I don't know what to say about them. I didn't use them. I used these skirmishers really a lot, and these are excellent units. Already this unit is a magic. The first one, okay, but these two are really great units. And I think what is the difference here? It's the most difference in damage, and the last one, it has a retreat too. So it has 66% of the retreat chance, while this one has 33%. All these units, they ignore zone of control, which is important. Um, they have this trait of fast rider. But of course, it's a problem with yeah. I was complaining a lot when I was fighting in the swampy terrain that they are not useful. That I would like to have something like in Panzer Corps, more units in the pool, so that I don't deploy them in the swampy terrain, because their movement was quite bad when we were in the swampy terrain. Otherwise, excellent units. I didn't try this unit. This is more like shock cavalry. Yeah, it is magic shock cavalry. I didn't use it. It has a. Okay, let me check like this. Okay, because it is a bit misleading with this armor. So yeah, the armor here is 4, for this one 3, and this one they have armor of 8. They have a skirmish weapon, but I think they need to be in the contact, not like discovery, which they can attack from rear and retreat. Like this here, skirmishers, when they attack, they just they need to be in contact. This applies to discovery, and also this is the skirmish weapon, damage 22, and this is the charge weapon when they are charging. I think discovery definitely can be used, especially when flanking the enemy. Deploy these units on the flank and attack units from the rear. You can get the decent bonuses from the flanking or attacking from rear with discovery. I didn't use it because yeah, I was happy with these two cavalry, so I think that third cavalry would not be a good choice for me. Are there any zones control, fast rider mountain? Nothing special with these units. Wolf Mother, I had one which I acquired actually freely in one I can't remember, mission over here somewhere in the beginning. Well, she was good. She saved me one mission when she was spawning wolves. Solid unit with a ranged weapon. It also has a retreat too. I don't. Maybe I would not deploy more than one. I mean, it's good to have one weapon, one unit like this, but not more. I mean, it's not very powerful, but it's a solid unit, and with this range attack, it can finish off many units. So yeah, nothing spectacular about this unit. Maybe, yeah, I mean, it's also not very expensive, but I would really think twice if I would need to spend one liquid mana on the Wolf Mother. Since I got it for free, then I used it. As I said already, this Javelin I didn't use. I don't know. I think Discovery is much better choice than them. That's my opinion. Um, Other units, yeah, we have trolls. These trolls are really excellent, and especially I think after some of these missions here in the forest in the Trollwood, I got access to the trolls, and then I used them later on. First, I think I had 2 trolls, and then after Tyr left, I got Harg and Targ that joined me. Harg and Targ, and then I purchased one more actually. They're really good. they're not too expensive. You just need to have one liquid mana and two weapons and 124 gold. Uh, First level upgrade, and then they can be upgraded to a second level. I upgraded it at the end of the game. I didn't need, because this unit is very powerful. I think the biggest difference is that I think someone wrote it on my YouTube channel that this highest tier level trolls, they have 4 of armor piercing and a bit more damage, but this 4 armor piercing is the greatest deal with these ones. But of course it depends. Uh, does this worth 4 weapons and 2 liquid mana, which is really not easy to acquire. So yeah, I was postponing this until the end of the campaign. Probably now, when I know what is the length of campaign, and I would do some things different. Maybe I would upgrade these units earlier if I would, already knew what is the length of campaign and how many resources I have. Then I would know better how to spend them. Even some of these resources earlier, I was saving these resources for some, for just to be ready for some kind of surprise. Mm. They are excellent. And I think they are must-have if you want to deal with javelin units or with archer units which are beyond the range, because they have range of 4, and any enemy archer, they have range of maximum of 3, so they are really uh, they are really extremely important in campaign. What's important to know? It's important to know that they have a trait of heavy weapon, so they deal only half damage when moved prior to attacking. So it's very important to plan to move them, and then not to move them as much as possible until the enemy is destroyed, because you will, if you move them, you are going to sacrifice half of your damage. It's important to know also this AoE, it multiplies damage with the target squad size, which means if for the hero, if the target squad size is 1, then there is nothing to be multiplied. It's going to be multiplied by 1. But if it's going to attack armor slingers, then the squad size is 8. So the damage of these trolls will be multiplied with 8. So this is why they are excellent against slingers or archers or javelins, against this kind of units that they have they have a large squad size. Extremely effective against them, and I use them mostly against them. On the second branch, I didn't use this one, and this one they proved really great, but of course the problem is this armor troll that I used. The problem is this 6 armor. It's really not easy to get 6 armor. 6 armor, here's 2 weapon and 1 liquid mana. I decided to go for this unit and not for Devourer, because Devourer costs too much liquid mana. Okay, let's see for this unit. So they are also fearless, Highland charge. They are large, they can't hide, they have plus 20 health regeneration, and they move over the shallow water, fast movement. So this is awesome unit. With a with a high damage, it is really excellent unit. In comparison, if we would now buy where is this? Okay, if you would go for this witch doctor is really a good unit. I mean, it has this petrify action that can turn the target to stone, ancestors guidance, mirror image, a lot of this actions it has, and yeah, solid damage as well with this magic weapon. uh, they're amphibious, they're hero, and even 2 artifact slots, like a wolf mother. I think, yeah, like a wolf mother, but different kind of thing. But the problem is, of course, 5 liquid mana. That's really expensive. On the other hand, these units, I fought against them. These skirmishers, okay, I mean solid, but I prefer much more skirmishers, cavalry skirmishers. This unit is good, but maybe not such a great health. But still, you need to spend to reach there. You need to spend 2 liquid mana and then 4 liquid mana for Devourer. Devourer is like hero, one squad size, big one with huge damage, and it's excellent unit. But I never use it. But the problem is that I never had too many liquid mana. If you have excess of liquid mana, then going maybe for the Devourer is not a bad choice at all. Uh, any other types of units? I don't think so. Yes, I think covers units pretty much. The heroes, what about to say about the heroes? Well, this skill tree, I mean, they can go up to the level 10. So, yeah, I think with Fallerson, I first go for this drill to get more XP for the new units as possible. To have more health for Fallerson to be more tanky. And yeah, I didn't go for this combat too much for the Fallerson. For Ailsa, she became a monster with this dragon. She became definitely the most dangerous character. In the end, I wasn't spending any mana for the on anything else than on Ailsa and her attack. This one with the dragon breath, which is unbelievable. She also had this plus 100 health, plus 50 magic damage, and this Krell stuff plus 100% damage versus undead, and which is really important, plus 6 mana scenario start and plus 1 mana generation, which is insanely important, because without this you don't have any you don't gain. I mean, if you don't capture any mana pool, or if you don't get manas in other source, somehow you don't have any steady income of mana, but this brings steady income of mana to army. So yeah, it must be equipped with one of the characters, definitely. This this is Dragon Mount, and this is basically this Dragon Breath, the skill, which has insane damage of, what is this, 300 over here, and the damage is 20 plus 40 with all the magic buffs with that she has, because I think I improved all her magic. Let me see, Ailsa, okay, plus fun. Yeah, I went for this plus 50% magic damage that she can summon all of this. I think this should be the start. In the campaign, this should be your first buy to get at least first 6 mana at scenario start, so that you can summon something or get something, and then you can go for this to get more damage, and then maybe bigger pockets also to get more benefits, and the rest I think it's pretty much unimportant. What about Dougal? Yeah, the same. Get the room bound first to have a plus 6 mana scenario start. In the campaign, you can decide are you going to accept Dougal or not. I suggest to accept him in your army. Get room bound and then go for this here 3 to get plus 50% of magic damage. This is a great bonus for him, so then he will come much more deadly with each attack, and then get more pockets, and after that I think something like this, it's not really important. For the Ulnar, I think in the beginning I went for, I don't know, but I would suggest really go for this to make him really tanky. 50 health, thick skin, plus 100 health, and then plus 4 armor piercing. This, or I think probably I went for this battle stats at the beginning, then get pockets, and after that you can go for anything over here. This is breakthrough is a good to have, yeah, good trait. And I think this would be for the units. I, as I said already, I didn't use recons, but I would really like in this game to be maybe these skirmishers or um, or these trackers to have maybe better view to be a real recons. What I used with cavalry, I used this scout trait. The cooldown is 3 turns, and basically with it you can reveal 6 hexes from this unit. So basically this makes this unit a true scouts. I don't know, is there such a trait with the recon? Maybe there is. No, they don't have. I mean, they have tracker. But it would be really great for this unit, maybe in the future builds, to give them a lookout so that they can also see 6. That would be, they would really benefit from it, like the cavalry has. Let me see this first cavalry. Yes, from the beginning the cavalry has scout and scout and scout. They all have scout, which is really excellent, and yeah. Yeah, it is really great to have this scout skill, and then it is possible to reveal us 6 hexes around the cavalry. Mercenaries. In the battle, you can recruit mercenaries. To be able to recruit mercenaries, you need to capture settlement, or you can uh, um, develop this skill, buy this skill for the Fallerson, which is excellent to have, and I really suggest this one to have it as fast as possible. And then in the camp, you can, in the war camp, you can recruit mercenaries. I think this was one of the misses of my campaign. I could have recruited more mercenaries because some really excellent units can be recruited and they are expendable. They are not too expensive and they can help a lot. So if I would play again, I would use mercenaries much more. Maybe even in every mission I would use. Okay, of course it depends on the amount of gold, but I ended up on 6,700 gold. Basically, this is unused. So and the mission is over, and I have so much of gold to spend. So there is definitely a room to spend more gold, and I think the gold should be spent on the mercenaries. uh, Summoning units. Um, it is really good, especially with the Ailsa, to summon these sentinels. They are quite powerful, and I use these units a lot to scout the area. Same as mercenaries. I mean, they are expendable, and they can scout the area and also get important explore the ruins, explore caves, and get important resources for us. So yeah, definitely, if you have enough mana, then always summon units and use them for exploring. Uh, it is very important to know when the mission is running. You will see on the right top side, you will see that there is a region wealth that is left. So basically, if the regional wealth is at 0, you there is no point to raid settlements anymore because there is no wealth any left. So all the raiding must be done before regional wealth goes to 0. And I'm not so sure, but I think also it's not possible to raid to get anything from any caves or things like that if the regional wealth fell to 0. But I'm not sure about that. Can't remember anymore. I tried after Izil, I tried to finish every mission before the world goes to 0. Only in some of these starting missions I had a problem to explore the whole map before the world goes to 0. Yeah. uh, what about how to gameplay, how to play, how to attack? I mean, it's really important to have a good composition of melee units, heroes, and range units and long range units. This is really important. Order of attack is also important. If you have a unit that can harass, like I think I deployed one artifact. Okay, over here with this artifact, the very harasses an enemy. So when the enemy is harassed, then they will have a much weaker defense. Uh, how to attack? Uh, it's very important to plan. You know, um, when a melee unit is going to kill other unit, then the melee unit is going to move on the hex where the enemy unit is, where the enemy unit is going to be killed. So if you don't want your unit to be moved, then you need to plan your attack accordingly to finish off that unit with a long range unit. And to attack with your melee unit first and then finish off with the range unit. If you want to move onto that hex, onto forward hex, then probably you should then attack first with the long range unit, or if I'm a long range unit, if it's possible, if you know that that unit is going to be killed, then you can move to hex adjacent to the unit that needs to be attacked with this slingers, because they're getting buffs for the point blank range. Then attacking point blank range and then finish off with a melee unit that will move on to hex where the enemy unit is actually killed. So yeah, I mean, the usual how I attacked, I would use my long range units to disable their archers, weaken their archers as much as possible, long range units, and then to kill their units and to weaken their morale. It's really important to kill as many units enemies as possible, and then their morale will drop. If their morale is going to is um, so here, okay, it's written if below 67 a unit becomes disorder, below 34 a unit becomes broken, at 0 it becomes routed. So basically, if the unit is routed, it's not going to attack next turn. It will try to run away. So killing enemy units is a good thing. um, Also, what is very important when you play on any map, look if it's possible. Um, uh, uh, I don't know. I'm looking for a proper word. Analyze. Okay, analyze the map. Search for shrines. The shrines, they can give a lot of bonuses like a stone skin, like regeneration. My favorite is the speed. When you get speed +1 for all speed +1 for all the units. So see where are the shrines. If there are some nearby, then maybe you can adjust your tactic to capture that shrine as fast as possible and then have the benefits from that shrine. Every shrine helps a lot. So yeah, don't forget to watch for shrines and to get the benefits from shrines. um, about the wealth, I think, yeah, about the resources and the wealth. I think I said already that about the raiding. Don't trade if the wealth is at 0, because you're not going to gain anything with that raiding. If you have enough gold, spend gold on mercenaries, because this is a good thing to do. These resources are not easy to get, so you really need to be very careful when to spend them and how to spend them, what upgrades to buy, because there's some of these upgrades later on the game. Definitely you will need this thunderer, so you will need this liquid mana, 3 liquid mana to upgrade one to thunderers. And here actually this means 6. To get this one is 1 weapon, and here is actually 6 weapons and 3 liquid mana to get 1 thunderer. But without this, they are much more powerful than heavy missile infantry. So yeah, I think in the end, yeah, I ended up, I had 2 of them, and in the late game I had actually 4 of them, and Yeah, I think this is a good number to have. So yeah, this liquid mana is important. It needs to be saved for this. For the cavalry, this cavalry is already good. I mean, this one is nice to have, but this one is already deadly. So, but yeah, if you have enough liquid mana or weapons, you can also upgrade this cavalry. Um, this unit is also very important to have, so you must save some liquid mana to have for these cleavers because they are much better than berserkers. And when when this late stage of campaign starts, you simply must have these cleavers. I think I already have here in the Shrouded Hills. I had already, I think 3 out of 4 I had cleavers, and it was huge difference between berserkers and cleavers already at that point of campaign, which is maybe okay. It's not mid. It's the last third, we can say. Yeah, the cleavers they must infantry must be upgraded to cleavers for sure. Uh, okay, let's say about the game. Okay, let's exit. What other game modes are available? Multiplayer. You can access multiplayer with I think Slytherin and Steam and your Steam account. Uh, and okay, at the moment there are no any challenges, but it is possible to create game and you can play against your friend. You can adjust the map size. Several factors can be adjusted. How many mountains are going to be, how much water, how many trees, how many swamp is going to be none or I don't know, swampy terrain. How many mana pools, settlement locations, settlements average many, mana pools the same or none. How many objectives, average or many. What is going to be what's going to be a team is going to be a barbarian lens or borderlands or empire or Sanka lens. Team, what is going to be supply, amount of gold that they can use, XP and the hero level what is going to be maximum or the starting. So basically these all rules can be set. The type of the game can be capture, elimination, or just a small multiplayer map. And here actually between the players it can be a challenger or I think yeah you can play. I mean this is not a multiplayer, this is more a skirmish, and it can be I think also you can play in this mode. You can play as the empire. Basically you couldn't play in campaign, but in the multiplayer you can select the units from empire, which is yeah, really interesting. Hellhound cannon. This is deadly unit. This is deadly unit. It has a yeah plus 50 damage versus hero and large. It's the armor piercing 10. It's really deadly and dangerous against the heroes. Excellent against the heroes. Unlike this, which is like mortar bomb, like trolls. And Hellhound. I think also Hellhound was also the same again. Very dangerous against heroes. Yeah, they have some really good units. Empire, Longbowmen, Fire Archers. Yeah, I had to fight this in the late game. They are really dangerous and excellent. Cavalry, Scout Cavalry, Shock Cavalry, Imperial Knights, Imperial Lancers. Here is some Phalanx. I think this is heavy infantry. They move only 2. Spearmen. These are dead units. Yeah, dead dealers. General, I think he's on Dragon. Yeah. Cavalry Raider, Transmuter, and here is Dolus the Trickster. and Princess Markra. Okay, so this is actually available for the Pegasus Riders, Pegasi, Vampire Bats, Bone Golem, yeah, Imperial Golem, heavy units. Units available for Barbarians, I think pretty much all these heroes, tier 10, all the infantry that we already have, and yeah, and this actually, bears, yeah, all the units that we already have. So basically, yeah, okay, and AI can be also be set as neutral in this mode. So this can be played on the multiplayer level. You can play probably this with the friends and invite your friend for the challenge. For the skirmish, I think it's pretty much the same like multiplayer with a little bit less options. Against AI, yeah, and again, it can be now. Let's see what kind of skirmish. Battle lines, capture. So with all these actually features that are also available on the on the multiplayer level. So basically this is capture all castles on a procedural generated map to win. So this is some generated map, and you can select the empire and play this map. Coastal defense is a different map. Okay, and there have been multiply AI against you on this coastal defense. Conquer the marshes, harp infestation, valley liberation, and walled city. Okay, but only against one AI. I think it would be really nice to have. It would be really nice to have a. Okay, let me see here. Elimination. It'd be really nice to have a mode where two players would be able to play in the co-op mode. That would be really nice to have, because this is at this moment it's not possible to play multiplayer in co-op mode. I think in the DLCs, if they can do it, this would be really great, because there are some players that really like to play in the co-op mode against the AI, including my son, who likes to play with his friend co-op mode in the Heroes of Might and Magic. So this would be really nice to have in the multiplayer, if it's possible to get it in the DLC. The options are pretty much straightforward. Nothing to be said about it. Some shortcuts. I didn't use the shortcuts. Yeah, I played in 1080 resolution. Everything was on high. The game really has a nice graphic. I had only problem with do I have any here? And okay, let's load this temp. I had only problem sometimes with the aerial units, how to see on which hex they are exactly. But I think this is very hard to solve when you make a game that is 3D. But the game really looks nice, and yeah, it's possible to also to rotate the map and to see from if you have some problems how to view where the unit is, you can always rotate. You can use the mouse wheel to unzoom and zoom, and then also rotate and to see where the unit is, and maybe to analyze the situation you can always rotate. And if you can rotate if you can't see properly where are the enemy units. And I think also it's possible to turn on the hexes. I didn't, because the game really looks nice, so I never needed. Okay, maybe sometimes I made a mistake because I counted hexes wrong, but it's yeah, the game is really, the graphic is really excellent for the turn-based game. They did a great job, so it really looks nice. graphic is really nice, and the units they look great. So overall, I think this game costs 34 euros on the Steam. I think this is a great value for the players who like turn-based game and who like fantasy games. I'm always more in World War II games, but sometimes I also like fantasy games. I played a lot Might and Magic games. They also have very nice turn-based combat, so I think this is um, really good game, which yeah, I hope in future DLCs it's going to be improved. Maybe we are going to get more campaigns, and maybe they will create co-op multiplayer, which will be also be excellent. So yeah, I think this concludes my review and the wrap up of the Fantasy General 2. What is going next? I don't know. Maybe I played maybe 1 or 2 years ago. I played Ultimate General Civil War. Maybe I'll try to play that campaign. Let me know what you think. Shall I try to play that campaign? It has also very interesting campaign. It's not turn-based. It's real-time strategy, but it's not fast clicking real-time strategy. It is more tactical. I mean, there is enough time to think, and the game can be paused, and the units can be then moved and ordered in timely fashion. So this would be all for the Fantasy General. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.